I have to think about what's something that I'm going to be passionate about and I can do for the rest of my life and turn into not a job, but a career.
It was really me trying to follow what I was passionate about that sort of took me back to TV. Hey man, I'm Neil.
How you doing? I'm Malik.
Nice to meet you, man. So what are you doing here at Montgomery College? What do you study?
Well, I'm studying in broadcast television and everything. At first, to start off, in the beginning, you know, I'm born in Gaithersburg, Maryland. I've pretty much been here all my life. After, I went to high school, went to Gaithersburg High School. Then after I graduated and I came to MC, at first I didn't really know what I wanted to do at one point. It was kind of, I was just going around with it. I've always loved cameras. Like back in high school I did photography, I messed around with that. Then I was just fascinated by it. But it's like, I didn't really see a career in it, you know? So when I came here, I thought, well, personally, I thought that I was gonna be a medical major and everything. I don't know what, doctor, physical therapist, it didn't really matter. Just, you know, I'm African descended, so majority of my family members are nurses, lawyers, businessmen. It's like, you know, and then I was given the impression that, hey, medical field is right there, you know, easy money. So I was thinking, I did it for like a semester, but then I realized that no, this is not me.
Yeah, I have a bit of a similar story. I went to Penn State originally. I did a semester there. I was doing astrophysics, but that was like just not for me. Like the school wasn't a good fit for me. The math was way too intense, and you know, ended up coming back here. But kind of in the same vein, you know, it's hard to see yourself in a career,
right?
Especially in sort of television production, because when you watch a movie or something like that, it's always directed by, written by.
Yeah.
You know, there's always these big titles, but after a while you start watching the credits and you're like, wow, there's like 50 plus people.
You don't think about who did the technical work.
Seriously.
But my question is, what got you into like your first career? Like what made you go into that? Because for me, it was just more of like trying to impress my family, like trying to, because I have a pride that I have to, you know, that I have to present and everything. So how was it for you? What made you like choose that path?
Well, so both my parents are scientists, so I always gravitated towards science. I liked science in school, and it's something I kind of research on my own time. Like I still read a lot of physics stuff, but you know, that's really that pushed me in that direction originally. But it was really me trying to follow what I was passionate about that sort of took me back to TV. I mean, I was a couch potato, like, you know, all through my younger years, and ended up, it was nice to finally sort of take that passion and put it towards something productive.
Right.
But so was that a hard transition for you, like going from something like medical to television?
Honestly, it was, because, you know, I had a really, because I had to think about it like this. I have to think about that, okay, my parents lived their days, you know. They went through what they had to go through to make it to this point, you know. So I have to think about what's something that I'm going to be passionate about and I can do for the rest of my life and turn into not a job, but a career, you know. So then after thinking about it, and then I came back here to MC, I realized, wow, like, I think I was just walking around campus, and I went to the technical center, and I, you know, just walked in there, and I saw, you know, the studio, the audio board. I saw like a whole bunch of stuff, and I realized, yo, this is something I actually really like. I've been looking at this in high school, but I didn't realize that my passion and what I really wanted to do was right in front of me. You know, I just I just didn't realize it. So that's when summer, where I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna get into broadcast television and, you know, pursue a career in, you know, either in, well, I want to be a videographer or a videographer / video editor. And, you know, for a television production company or a digital media company or, you know, film, you know, pretty much that's just that. But what do you want to go into television specifically go, and where do you want to, where do you see yourself?
My dream job is to work at Adult Swim.
Adult Swim.
I like making stupid cartoons. I'm a huge animation fanatic. But I've also been really toying around with the idea of working for the UFC, trying to do some fun sort of promotional work for them. So really, it's kind of funny. The motto I've been telling myself for a while now is I can see myself doing anything that's not ads or news.
Gotcha.
And that's two pretty big asks for this field specifically. But you know, the more I pay attention to what's around me and how everything is becoming so visually based, the more avenues I'm starting to see in terms of ways you can work in production without falling into sort of these necessary, I don't want to call them pitfalls, because there's obviously still great work, but they're definitely not for me. I love that creative side of things. I love that, you know, almost the frantic, hectic nature of it. If you've ever worked in, you know, I'm sure you've done it in some of your classes, how crazy it can be to plan everything.
Fast-paced environment, trying to realize who's here, who's not here.
Yeah.
But what's crazy that you said is because I actually have a classmate who once works in Adult Swim. I heard like you're the third person that says I want to work at Adult Swim. So Adult Swim, why that specific company? Like what's so like about the company? What fascinates you about that company? Because I've been hearing that a lot lately.
So
you know?
For me personally, it's this idea that they make content that's not for everybody.
Right.
They specialize in giving creators a lot of freedom to, you know, to make and build and cultivate whatever they want. And that kind of stuff really just appeals to me. I'm a big believer in that a lot of the art and content that gets created shouldn't be for everybody.
Right.
You know, there's something really special and you can tell when you watch it. When it's something really creator driven, you can tell that there's this tinge to it where some people will find it off-putting and some people will find it weird or gross or, you know, just strange, but that's what gives it that kind of character. So I guess now that you're starting enrolling in a lot of the TVRA courses, how do you find that MC is facilitating that interest that you have?
They're actually doing a really, really amazing job. You know, I really like how, like one thing I like about this field is very, very diverse. You know, it's not just, you know how most careers, it'll either be male dominant or Caucasian dominant or, you know, like just different types of races in general. Right. What I like about this is like you meet people from many different backgrounds, you know. I like how well, first of all, the classes are shorter. Well, they're not shorter, but shorter in student-wise. So, you know, it gives everybody a chance to come together, you know, and share our backgrounds pretty much. And I really enjoy that, you know, because I really like being in a diverse area, just where I can meet people from, you know, me starting in the program this semester, I have like 10 friends right now from different backgrounds, like one from Africa, South Africa, one from, I think I have one from El Salvador, and just also different parts of the states, you know, people that come from different backgrounds, like you said, you came from Penn State and everything. And quick question, did you originate here or did you originate in Pennsylvania?
So my history is a little bit longer. I was born in Michigan and moved to Saudi Arabia for a few years. Then I moved to this area, but then I went to school for Penn State and then came back.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been a Maryland native for most of my life, ever since like first grade. Yeah. So it's definitely been an interesting sort of experience moving around and meeting people from all over. Have you traveled anywhere?
Not out the country, no. I've only been down to Florida, really. Florida, New York, Georgia. That's pretty much the three places that, you know, traveling wise. You know, I haven't really been, I've just been staying in the DMV, but just those 3 places where I've been.
But I definitely get what you mean, though. It's really great that so many people come. I think it's like 160 plus countries get like represented by the college. It's pretty wild. Do you find that any of that that sort of diversity impacts like the work that you do, or especially since you're going into television production, do you feel like that cultural sort of mix makes its way into the work that you do?
Yeah, of course. You know, I believe obviously it's a good impact because it gives you a chance to, you know, interact with different people and just work with different people, you know. Like for example, like if you were going to work at a, you know, television company or a, you know, company or studio, it's good to have that that you're able to touch many people's hearts, you know, from your different from your circle, you know, and MC does a really good job at that. So it really brings us all together. We learn about each other, and when we go out in the field, it'll be easy, you know, it'll be second nature to us because we did it here. So when we go out there, it will be no problem and everything.
Yeah, I think that's where the kind of the tolerance comes in. It makes everybody really sort of open to, you know, for lack of a better word, grokking with the rest of the cultures that you sort of meet. I don't know. I think it's been definitely a great experience for me, for sure. But where do you see yourself like gravitating towards? Like, as somebody who wants to be in production, do you find yourself looking at broadcast as the main place you want to be, or do you want to start making your own stuff online?
Honestly, that's a good question. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's broadcasting is really, really fun, and MC does a really, really good job of, you know, showing students, you know, what it's like out there in this field and everything. You know, I'm pretty much, you know, just going with the flow. You know, if I end up, you know, if I end up leaning towards broadcast someday, then all right, that's a bet. That's fine with me. If I end up in film, that's even more better. Actors, you know, movies, that's cool too. Or, you know, just wherever my calling is, or the first opportunity I see, I'm going for it. You know.
No, I think that's definitely the best way to do it. But you mentioned that you weren't sure when you originally came to MC. What like, did you take gen ed classes and stuff? Like, what was that experience like?
Okay, so we went back to that story. So so originally I was here. My first semester was last semester. I came here, took like just regular general courses. But see, the way I am, it's if I don't have an end goal, what I want to do, I'm not going to try. You know, it's like I'm going to put on this facade where, yeah, I'm you know, showing my parents that this is what I'm doing and everything, but really I'm just not feeling it inside, you know, internally wise. So, you know, spring semester, I took a semester off. I left just to, two for financial purposes, and then, you know, just needed to really self-evaluate myself, you know? Just had to, sometimes, you know, in life, you have to check yourself and realize and just ask yourself, is this really what I should be doing? Is this, how can I be a new person the next day, you know? Or be a better person than I was yesterday, you know? That's just, so after I went through that phase, you know, it was a sad phase, but I'm glad that I went through it because it made me a better person. Came back here strong-minded. Was able to seek out my resources. So, you know, but like, have you ever had like a moment in your life where it's like, dang, like,
yeah, I'm
not going anywhere, but you pick yourself back up?
No, definitely. I mean, that's kind of what MC was for me as well. After I came back from Penn State, I was really not sure what I wanted to do. I started just taking gen eds because, you know, I felt that if anything, no matter what I'm going to be doing, these classes are going to be the most useful for me in terms of transferring to whatever I want to be in, you know, whatever I end up wanting to do. But yeah, it's definitely a tough period in time. But, you know, I remember Professor Carl, she took me on a tour throughout the whole sort of TVRA department. And she was like, oh, here's, you know, the animation studios, here's the photography studios, and here's our television studio. And I just remember sort of walking in and being like, oh, cool, they have a green screen. And that was sort of what cinched it for me. I was just really taken aback at how expansive it was, how professional it looked, and that's really how I got started. It was, but yeah, I definitely feel you with that. It's a very tough time to not know it's tough not knowing what you want to do, especially because I think the school system around here does a really good job at making you feel like you're capable of doing anything. Like you never feel pigeonholed, but then that sort of that's a double-edged sword, because sometimes you almost wish you were pigeonholed, because you would have been like, okay, I got like a track, now I just got to like stick on it. But when you got to find that track and you got to put yourself on that rail, it's definitely tough. But it's really cool to hear that you bounce back from it, and I definitely feel you with that.
Well, man, it was nice talking to you, man. You know what I'm saying? And good luck on your journey. And
you too, man. I'm definitely sure I'll see you around the TVRA building.
No problem, man.